Now on Morning Drive, Ricky's season debut in Mexico. The 10th ranked golfer in the world is on the course this morning, and we will have live highlights as Ricky attempts to shake off the rust.
There's been a little bit of a break slash, time away from golf. I think I played about 5 rounds of golf leading up to this week.
The race is on. 2 events remain in the race to Dubai as Alex Noren defends in South Africa. The Swede is looking to rise up the standings as Louis Oosthuizen gets a home game and makes a statement of his own.
Without a question, he has the single best golf swing in the world.
And want to get away? It's that time of the year. Time for a buddies trip.
Good scene, good atmosphere, good golf, good fun.
Our expert Matt Janella is live this morning with the cities, the venues, and the deals to capitalize on with your crew. Morning Drive is live on Thursday, November 9th, 2017. Good morning, welcome inside Studio AP, Thursday edition of Morning Drive. Gary Williams, my partner, Damon Hack. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, pal. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. 3 days off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, very nice.
Speaking of somebody who's been off a little bit.
Good segue.
You know what? What's happening now as we get started? He's taking a little bit more time than I have. He can afford to. That is Ricky Fowler. He is on the golf course. We're going to have highlights from him throughout the morning. We're with you for 90 minutes. And Ricky met with the media and explained how he's adjusting his schedule heading into this new season.
Looking at more of this fall slash winter as a time of being able to rest, spend time in the gym, create somewhat of an off season because we don't necessarily get much off time unless you choose to take it. And this was one of my times where I don't think of all the time or the years on tour. I've really had a full off season in a way, so we'll definitely be ready to go and really get the season going in January.
Damon had to have a medical procedure to get some time off.
True.
The first start of the PGA Tour season is you go back and you look at Ricky Fowler. He gets off, Damon, to solid starts. No wins in there, but you got 3 top 6s.
Good to see Ricky Fowler back on a golf course. Also happening now, yes, the Nedbank Golf Challenge is in South Africa. Brandon Grace is a tie for second, I should say, 4 under par, 68 to start his round, and 7-time winner on the European Tour. In fact, 2 of his 7 wins have come in his native South Africa. Of course, you recall last summer he shot that 62 at Birkdale, the lowest round ever in a men's major. As you look at the South African leaderboard and what a list it is, Charles Schwartzel, of course, the 2011 Masters champ. 8 of his 11 wins on the European Tour have come in his native South Africa.
Well, Damon, what else is happening now? LPGA, and she seems to be happening a lot, meaning on the top of leaderboards, and that Chen Feng getting great support at home. She's had so much success playing in Asia, coming off a win. Hear her thoughts on her round.
I was giving myself birdie chances, and of course, my putting was working today also, continued from last week, and so I made a few birdies, and just 1 bogey for the day. I think it was pretty good. I just think recently I've been playing pretty well. I just want to keep that good playing going, and coming back to China, of course, I'm playing in front of all the fans from home, and of course I feel a little bit pressure, and pretty sure tomorrow will be more people coming to support me. But I just want to bring out my A game and enjoy the week.
Well, you take a look at her wins since 2014, and as I pointed out, a number of them on the other side of the world. Now, she emphasized earlier this year that she does want to win more in the United States, but she is a bona fide star when she goes home.
Well, Gary, also happening now, the PGA of America made it official. The Olympic Club in San Francisco to host the 2028 PGA and 2032 Ryder Cup. That was Barry Bonds, a 14-time Major League All-Star with the Wanamaker Trophy. They love him in San Francisco. What a big moment for the city by the Bay. As we say good morning to the big timer, Charlie Reimer. How are you, pal?
Doing good, doing good. I like all that golf going out there, too. Olympic Club, that's Matt Janella
develop territory out there, but there's certainly, Olympic Club has a history, and just a beautiful place to play golf. And
you can send me there anytime.
Absolutely. And with the PGA Championship moving to May, I think it gives it a great shot to have wonderful weather out there that time of year as well.
Speaking of playing golf, Rickie Fowler, as we said, on the golf course this morning, the OHL Classic at Mayakoba. Charlie making his season debut. Here he is on the 10th.
Halfway down in that Bermuda rough, Damon, that looked pretty easy, but tell him, Damon.
That's not easy.
That's not easy right there. Good play.
Great shot. He would save par now on to 11. His approach shot, you see the morning shadows, Charlie.
Well, here's the key. This golf course can be very narrow. You've got some jungle to the right, jungle to the left, some trouble in the middle of the fairways in places. Whoever wins this tournament is going to be playing a lot from right there where Rickie Fowler played to that approach. You got to drive the ball well if you're going to be top of the leaderboard here.
You would miss that birdie putt, make par. Now another short game shot here on 12.
Yeah, that was in the short stuff there. Went outside that right foot, had a lot of shaft lean, got steep with that. He knew it would check. Very, very creative play.
And finally, the 13th hole, he reached the green into this putt for eagle.
Watch the hand action. You can sort of see it from that angle. His hands are as active as any player on the PGA Tour. I sort of like that. He swings the putter around. The butt of the putter doesn't move that much. A lot of guys drag the handle back and through. The butt of his putter does not move that much.
2 under par through his first 6 holes. The 2015 Players Champion who won one time last season, that Honda Classic, by 4 starts. Charlie, as we look ahead to his 2017-18 season, what do you see that he can lean on from last year that he can use to apply for this year?
Well, all you got to do is dig in his stats a little bit. He did a lot of things really, really well. In fact, I would tell you that while he had a successful year financially, only the one win, if you look at his stats, I think he probably should have won a little bit more. So he doesn't really need to change the formula a whole lot, other than maybe look at that scoring average in the final round. And a lot of times that scoring average struggling in the final round is what kept him from winning more. Some people say, well, you got to push a little harder on Sundays. I think the opposite is actually true. You got to relax a little bit more on Sunday, especially when you look at the stats the other 3 days. Things are going so well there, you just got to sort of let the tournament come to you and not push for it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. His first round scoring average, 4th on the PGA Tour last season, 25th in the final round, which is respectable, but when you consider the tournaments that he contended in, he did not have great final rounds. So why don't we do something, a little examination of 3 players, their numbers from last year, and we're deceiving you. See those silhouettes? They're all the same, but they're not the same person. So you look at those numbers and go, okay, that's got to be him, that's got to be him, that's got to be him. So as we Charlie, what sticks out?
Well, when you look to the mystery player, the far right, and you say, okay, driving accuracy, 162nd. I mean, most weeks a big field's 156, so that gives you an idea how far down 162nd is. But that guy on the far right, look at that putting average. I'm interested to see who that is. It had the big year because it sort of shows me that putting the ball in the fairway isn't all that important for the season on the PGA Tour, but what you do on the greens is.
Yeah, you look at the player in the middle, and a putting average of 4th, first in sand save percentages, which amplifies his putting average, getting up and down, scrambling 8th. And you know what? If you looked at Rickie's scorecard this morning, maybe you could have figured out that the guy in the middle is Rickie Fowler. Only 3 of 6 greens, but without a bogey. And the guy on the left, well, Charlie, I know you say this a lot. Jordan Spieth does not get enough credit for his ball striking.
Yeah, he gets sort of picked on. I think a lot of it has to do to the shot he hit at Augusta on 12 when he ended up losing the golf tournament. And you say, oh, well, he doesn't strike the ball very well. He's 4th in greens in regulation on the PGA Tour. If you look at the proximity numbers, that's really good too. So he hits the ball a lot better than people think that he does. But, for Rickie Fowler, those stats, you look right in there, particular putting, you'd say all 3 of these guys probably won the same number of tournaments. Rickie Fowler did not have the year that a Jordan Spieth or certainly a Justin Thomas had, but he did a lot of things in a similar fashion.
It's appropriate to compare those 3 players because of their similar age, because of the fact that they're such good friends. And it's also interesting that those other guys have major championships and they've had career-defining seasons. Yes, Rickie Fowler has a Players' Championship, but there's a sense that he's the guy standing beside 18 green, giving out the hugs instead of being the guy hoisting the trophy enough at the end of these big weeks of the PGA Tour season.
And that's an interesting take on that. Rickie Fowler, I think, has got to decide what he wants to do, what he wants to be. I think that And some players have to make this decision. I mean, basically, to get to that next level, you have to give up a little bit about what you're doing now and who you are now. I mean, he looks pretty comfortable to me. It looks like he's got a good life. He seems happy with what's going on with the golf course. Everybody likes him everywhere he goes. You know what? That's a pretty good thing. Some people would tell you that to get a little bit closer to the top, you might have to maybe even be a little bit more of a jerk.
I don't think he's capable of that.
But that's a decision that he has to make. To get to that next level, you know what? These guys, you're not hanging out with them, you're not buddies with them, you're competing with them. And that's a decision that players have to make. I know it was a decision I had to make. Bob Rotella laid it down for me. You know, if you're going to play better golf, you're going to stick out, you're going to stay out here on the PGA Tour a little bit longer, you're going to have to change your personality some. And I just wasn't willing to do that.
You know, and I think it's interesting, and I've not spent time with Butch and Ricky when they've been working, but I think Butch has some Lombardi in him.
Sure.
And I think he's trying to impart that in Ricky, not to be a jerk, but you know what? Be a fighter. And he said in an event that he was contending, put on your big boy pants this weekend.
Had similar conversations with Jimmy Walker. You know, you've won a lot of money, but you haven't won. Well, then you haven't won, but you haven't won a major. Now he has a major championship. I'll tell you what, Ricky Fowler, one thing we know among that group of peers, he has the biggest Q rating. You can watch Ricky Fowler this week in Mexico as he makes his season debut. Smiley Kaufman, another good buddy in that crew, he's there as well. But this is no spring break. This is all business at the OHL Classic at Mayakoba. Our coverage begins today, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Golf Channel.
Looking forward to it. Meanwhile, it preceded us, and that is the second to last event of the Race to Dubai. We took a look at the current standings. Tommy Fleetwood, he's got somebody who is mowing him down. He is closer than the object would appear, and that is Justin Rose off back-to-back wins. And Justin Rose has got all the momentum, so it'll be very interesting in these last two events. But let's take a look at some of the highlights and as Damon likes to say, Charlie,
well, hey, you guys know I love his golf swing. In fact, if I could pick one golf swing to have, it would be his. When he struggles, it's on the greens, but no struggle with that one.
Yeah, struggled a little bit on the back nine. Meanwhile, the man who is number one, interesting finish here on that golf swing.
Yeah, it looked like he went after it a little bit too hard. I'm guessing maybe he was between the 6 and the 5 and decided to hit the hard 6 instead of taking a little off the 5 and just didn't quite get it solid in the club face.
Yeah, he got up and down to save par. Now, you like nachos? How about a little nacho Elvira?
I do like nachos.
Now this,
don't eat them very much anymore, but I do like them.
Charlie,
and I like this break right here.
Did you get many of those?
No, my ball never did that, ever. Not one time, ever. Not once. Yeah, but maybe it'll happen for me next year.
Yes. All right.
I'm due for a good break.
He would shoot 70. Love these aerial shots. Guy who can still strike it as well as anybody. Here's Lee Westwood. This is a whole location you're going, he's going after that?
Not many folks would go after that one. I got to think maybe that was a little bit of a push.
Little push?
Yeah, he might have been aiming 20 feet left of the hole, but that's why you aim 20 feet left of the hole. It gives you a little bit more room, but when Lee is on with that ball striking, he's as good as we have in the game.
Yeah, he shot 2 under on the day, the defending champion. Did that go in too hard?
I wouldn't even count. If I went fishing and I caught that one, I'd just throw it back.
You wouldn't count it?
Take it. No, I'd feel guilty if I counted that one.
It's amazing.
Throw it back. That's not a keeper.
All right, Bernd Wiesberger is your leader. Shot an opening round of 67. Brandon Grace also playing a home game. He is one of a quartet. One back.
All right, GWC was in the race for the CME Globe. 2 events left. Lexi Thompson, 2 wins this season and 9 top 10 finishes. She is your leader. But look at third, Sung Hyun Park, trying to sweep Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, Money List, Scoring Average, and the race to the CME Globe. All right, LPGA this week in China for the Blue Bay LPGA. Charlie, Gary talked about aerials. How about this aerial?
It's a beautiful golf course, and as we watch Ashley Buhai here, I want you to pick up on this, folks. These greens are fast. They got some grain in them. That looks like it's going to be way short, doesn't it, Damon?
It does, but the ball is traveling.
Nope. She hasn't played a lot of golf these last 7 weeks. 6 weeks off and a.
I thought she'd have a 30-footer.
See, I'm gonna give that an A+ right. I like that one.
9 under.
That's the speed you want it to go in right there, Gary.
Hitting it the right way. How about Ariel Jutanagar?
Watch out when this putter works for her. If she can put it in play and putt medium, hot, it's hard to catch her.
Big sister Moria at Channel-Taiwan.
Yeah, and again, the speed of these greens, just a lot of rollout. That wind continues to blow. They're not going to do anything but get faster and faster.
Shen Feng and Justin Rose, maybe the two hottest players in the game right now.
Yeah, with Shan, every time we see her, she's striping it right down the middle and making a putt like that.
Moved her to 6 under par. Here's Shan on the par 4 16th.
Yeah, this is outside right, and she's absolutely feeling. It's just perfect line, perfect speed, makes it look easy.
As you can see, she's alone in second place after that second round, 67. Ashley Buhai, she is 28 years old from South Africa, 2 wins on the Ladies European Tour. It's a terrific leaderboard. Lizette Salas, 4 top 5 finishes in her last 5 starts.
All right, what else is going on? Well, they're going to put a bow on PGA Tour champions as they get to Phoenix for the final event in the Schwab Cup playoffs. And can anybody possibly challenge Bernhard Langer? Coverage begins Friday at Phoenix Country Club. We take a look at the standings. Bernhard Langer, he will be off with Scott McCarron. Those guys have been running 1-2 all season long. And we know the top 5 know the reality that if they win the event, things are going to be very, very good for them. Kenny Perry there in third, but Langer's got that 200-point lead currently over Scott McCarron. So for now, why don't we say good morning to 2 people I've been looking out of the corner of my eye. They've been joking around with each other for the last 10 or 12 minutes. Matt Janella, Bailey Mosier, good morning.
Us.
I have no idea what.
Focus.
You wouldn't notice. The viewers at home wouldn't notice. Y'all didn't miss a beat. we over here, though, we're dancing to some beat in our own head.
Yes, you were.
We've got a lot of energy this morning. Why wouldn't we be 9 to 10:30?
We got more sleep.
We got more sleep. That's why, yes. A little social media for you right now. We have this video, the trick shot that was posted. We found it yesterday. So pretty impressive stuff. This woman, this girl is pretty trusting.
Oh, wait.
The guy knocks the plate, breaks it. We don't know if this was the first try, but impressive stuff.
How good is that? Do you think, Bailey, we would ever see a situation in which you're here and Brandel is there?
If I'm the one hitting?
Yeah.
Every night actually in our kitchen. I thought at first when I saw this, I thought it was a live look into our kitchen.
When he doesn't like your dinner? That's weird.
No, that never happens. But he leaves dirty food that sticks on the plate. He doesn't wipe it off. That bugs me.
I hope you're listening, Brandel.
All right. Yes, tee sheet time. We're going to do something a little bit different. Matt's going to help me out here. So kids at home, if you're watching, teamwork and sharing is caring, right? So first up today on the tee sheet, the Reimer Project. So Charlie Reimer, he's getting ready for the PGA Tour Champions next year. It is a big project. We're going to update you on how he's doing in that, and he's also going to talk wedges, his gaps in between his wedges, and what you should do at home. Matt?
Great stuff, Bailey, and what an honor to be sharing this tee sheet.
I'm happy to share it with you.
We're counting down the top Buddies Trip destinations in America. My list of the top 10. Today we go from number 8 all the way down to number 5 with a deeper dive into the ultimate itinerary in each destination. So that's coming up throughout today's show.
And you know what you need to do well when you go on Buddies Trips?
No.
Putt under pressure.
Absolutely.
So we have a Golf Channel Academy coach here to help you do just that, those short putts that are really knee knockers. He's going to help you make all those. Would that be nice?
That's the Janella project.
We're going to work on that. That's going to take more than 1 year, actually. All right, more morning drive ahead when we return after this short break.
I like the 2-person tee sheet.
It's kind of fun, right?
I kind of liked it.
Really? You're now a director and producer and host?
Take note of that.
We were dancing.